that were quite frightening. So it was a very impressive book. This is the best thing I've found so far in terms of trying the search for the true religion. And I remember listening to some advice I'd got from this Jehovah's Witness family. He told me to sometimes you just sort of have to take the plunge, he would say, even though maybe it doesn't entirely fit right now. You know, you just need to take a plunge, and I resisted that with the Jehovah's Witnesses, of course. But that sort of rang in my mind a wee bit. I was really wrestling at that time with some issues like, okay, how, if I did convert, how's the family going to react? How are friends going to react? Those biggies. But I needed a push, and that push came when I realised after coming home, probably even prior to that, that I had fallen in love with one of these girls. And we continued to communicate, and it became pretty clear that I wanted to marry her, and the only way I could do that was to convert to Islam. I knew enough about Islam at that time to know that if and when I was to convert, I wanted to convert having full knowledge and full confidence that I was able to do justice to it. I didn't want to convert to Islam and make a half-assed job of it, excuse my French, because I knew I was going to be in dire straits then. I wanted to hit the ground running, as it were. So I knew it was the right thing. I just wasn't really confident that it was the right time for me yet. But in hindsight, it's probably the best thing that could have happened, because I may have procrastinated about it for a long time. So it was a leap of faith, as it were, and decided, yeah, okay. I took the move and haven't looked back. One good thing about getting married almost immediately was that I had a great support network in my wife and my in-laws, so that was great. It gave me a kick-start and a helping hand, as it were. Well, it is a whole new way of life. And obviously it was all for the better. Although I'm sure my friends, some of my friends probably, I'm not sure if they appreciate that or not, but I came from a rugby background. That was my religion, really. Yeah, drinking to excess and all that sort of the usual drama. Before converting to Islam, I guess it must have been at the stage when I was considering Islam, and I was trimming back on the booze, and was trying to calm myself down a wee bit. So things like giving up alcohol, I thought it might have been an issue for me, but that was probably the easiest thing of all to give up. That wasn't a biggie at all. Pork, never quite cared for it much anyway. That's not an issue. I guess, to be fair, there's been the odd occasion when I've had a wee bit of a struggle with alcohol. Like I remember once my father was having a beer on a nice hot sunny day, and I could smell it, and it was started to drive me crazy. I had to move away. Everything seems to rotate around the pubs. If you're ever going to get together with your friends, it's always, oh, we'll meet at the pub and then we'll go, blah, 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 whatever. And so I found that I just drifted away from my friends. I suddenly had nothing in common with them. If I wanted to go out with my friends, it was always they wanted to go to the pub, or it was always part of it, go to a party or something like that. So I suddenly wasn't interested anymore. Family's a different story, obviously. Family is always family. It was a bit of a struggle with my father. He never really accepted me converting to Islam. He thought I was mad. But he's okay now. I mean, I guess he's happy for the choices I've made and how my life's turned out. So, mum's a typical mum. She'll accept me no matter what. Yeah, mum's interesting because she's an avid talkback radio listener. So she'll be ringing me up with something that she's heard on talkback radio, and I'm saying, no, mum, they've got it wrong. This is what it's really like, you know. And oh, okay. So I think everything's sweet, and then like a week or two later, then a month later, same thing again, or something similar. No, mum, sit down. This is what really, what it's really about. So and work were really good about it. I was completely upfront about my beliefs and what that sort of meant, and that I would require, if they could make a space available for me, that would be really good. And it was surprisingly easy. They said, "Oh, you have this little space, a corner here, office that you can use, and it's all fine." So that was really good. So people are quite open to accommodate you as long as they know what the story is. Not just Islam can offer anybody, no matter whether they're New Zealand or wherever, so much. I mean, it's the cure for all of society's ills. Something a friend of mine has said, he's from Sudan, he is always amazed, he likes to talk about this country and how great it is. He's travelled around a bit, he's lived in Muslim countries and non-Muslim countries, and he always takes great pleasure in telling me how this country more closely models the pure idea of an Islamic society than a lot of countries he's lived in most countries he's lived in. Certainly more closely than any so-called Muslim countries in the world. Just the way the government's structured, and how the man in the street can quite feasibly go and knock on Helen Clark's door and tell her his grievances or whatever, and it's not without the realms of possibility. You have access to the leader of the country, pretty much, which is unfortunately quite different to what you'll find in Islamic countries. So he's been really impressed by that, and he talks often about the people, how friendly they are and how open they are, and generally quite willing to accept new ideas, and they really enjoy meeting people of different faiths and different cultures, really, and just talking with them and getting to know them. So, and I guess we're quite lucky here in Dunedin too. Most of our community here are students, so I guess they'll find it a lot easier living here, because they whole university environment. It's all about being a real hodgepodge of people from all over the world and getting to know one another. And the same is reflected here in the mosque. We've got so many different nationalities represented, and a lot of them are really young, so it's really sort of a good place to be. رب العالمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين